are doing the traffic study for the Forrester Road project. And basically, this project, the study area consists of about a 17-mile stretch from Westmoreland all the way down to the 8th freeway. And one of our tasks is that Forrester Road is one of the most heavily traveled off-system roads in the county. And it provides a great El Centro and Imperial. And basically with traffic commuting from Mexico, they come up the 111, over to the 8, and it's a nice bypass. Unfortunately, there's a lot of mixed traffic in the area with foreign vehicles, regular passenger cars, as well as the heavy vehicles, heavy trucks as well. And that mix of traffic contributes to congestion, contributes to accidents. And so what we've been asked to do is to take a look at it and see if we can come up with some solutions as far as near-term and long-term conditions. Welcome. Feel free to help yourself to water or... So one of the first things that we've done, and we're at the initial stages of our study, where we've met with the locals in the area, IVAG, Caltrans, and SCAG, and to set up a technical review committee where we go through our methodology, go through our approach, our assumptions, that kind of thing, with the key stakeholders as well. And one of the first things that we've done here is we've identified our study area intersections, our study area traffic segments, and again, like I said, basically between Westmoreland all the way down to the 8. And our approach, again, we're doing a traffic study, so some of the technical aspects of it, we have both jurisdictions that are within the county as well as Caltrans, and sometimes their methodologies and technical approaches are slightly different, and where we're in one jurisdiction, we'll use their criteria, and when we're in the other ones, we'll use theirs as well. And to go through the entire process, we have about 11 tasks broken up, and this process is about a year-long process where we're anticipating on wrapping it up probably beginning part of next year. We've completed some of the initial tasks already, and we're underway with others. The project administration management and the data collection, we've already done that. And we're right now we're establishing goals, we're collecting other data, and we're analyzing what we have.
Could you go back one, please? I'm not sure I understand how the different jurisdictions impact what it is you're doing.
Oh, okay.
Are we going to end up with the same road looking different? Different recommendations because we happen to go through a different part of the
Excellent question. Under existing conditions, Forrester Road is under the jurisdiction of the county. And as far as service level calculations, as far as segment evaluations, we'll use the county's methodology. And the ramp locations are under the jurisdictions of Caltrans, and they have a slightly different criteria as well. I think where you're coming from is if Caltrans ever acquires Forrester Road, then what would be the ramification of their criteria, their intersection spacing criteria, their roadway widths, and the right-of-way widths, and all that good stuff.
Will that be included, that kind of analysis be included?
Yes. Good question. So again, to this overall study would be to see what's out there today. What will be there in the near term, 2015 timeframe? What will be there in the long range? What are the deficiencies? What are the needs? And part of our task is to develop improvement measures. We're going to get this roadway to operate at acceptable service levels in the near term as well as the long-term conditions. And of course, how do we implement these in terms of how much is it going to cost, where are we going to get the funding from, and that's what this study is really all about. What we've done so far is we've collected traffic counts. We've gone out to the intersections and looked at their geometries. We've also queried accidents in the area, about a 3-year time frame. We've also looked at other developments in the area. In fact, I was over at the city just before this meeting to clarify some of the cumulative projects in the area. And what are some of the planned roadways that are going to be there in the near term as well. And like I mentioned before, in evaluating how things are operating, we've gone through some service level calcs, some initial service level calcs, and right now it appears that these intersections that we're looking at are operating at acceptable service levels. The segments as well, and as far as traffic signal warrants, it appears that right now the signal warrants are not met at these study area locations. And that's just based on the volumes. The next step that we're embarking upon is to analyze the 2015 conditions and near-term conditions. And basically what we're looking at are approved and pending projects that would contribute traffic to the Forrester Road corridor. And what we would do is we would route traffic to those study area intersections and segments and evaluate how will they operate in the future. And then dovetailing on top of that, we would go to the long-range traffic conditions, or the 2035 timeframes, you know, a little further down the road, using available models that we have, the SCAG RTP model, the Imperial County model, and look at those forecasts and see what are the needs, you know, what are the traffic volumes in those timeframes.
Question.
Yes.
Are you doing a study anticipating the completion of the bypass around Brawley?
The Brawley bypass, yes, for the long-range conditions.
And also the load and where the traffic is going to go for the Mesquite landfill? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. What you're talking about, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, is having trucks coming down the 86 and going through the area of Westmoreland, and I believe there's several alternative alignments.
They're studying a number of
They're studying. Unfortunately, I don't know if they're going to be completed before we are. So, to the extent that...
They better be, because they're supposed to start trucking through there in a year, aren't they?
But that's something that we can certainly coordinate, yeah.
Because they're going to go on. The main route that's at least paved now would be through the bypass around Brawley and then on 78.
Right. I think what Scott is saying, if the information and the analysis there, it will be incorporated, but we can't, you know, we can't dictate what their schedule looks like as far as completing that. But if it is, hey, why not put it in?
Yeah.
If it's not, then we'll have to do with what is there at the present time.
And that's something we'll coordinate with the consultant that's doing that as well. And alternatives. This is, you know, one of the key things that I'm looking for at these outreaches and in discussions with the key stakeholders are what alternatives, you know, do you want us to analyze? It's easy for me to come up here and say, yeah, you know, this roadway segment or this intersection is failing. Let's do X, Y, and Z, you know, from a traffic standpoint. But are there other alternatives that you'd like to see? You know, Westmoreland had weighed in when we had spoken with them, and they were talking about a diversion of Forrester Road away from their city. And so those are some of the things that we'll incorporate in our analysis as well.